Pretty cool.
Thank you all for joining us on
What
this
the hell is that?
Combat Cast. Hope you enjoyed the story and all of our guests. And next time we have some pretty cool stuff to show you and let you know really soon.
So, yeah, that was about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to upload that. Like, there wasn't
Yeah.
really much to say. It wasn't like here, let's speculate. It's
They
more
just
like
spent most of the time was just conversations between the devs about who am I, what is my job, and this is we
right.
didn't really see. I thought because they demoed the whole first chapter that we would get to see the whole first chapter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not disappointed, but there wasn't much to it. So I mean,
Well, I'm a little disappointed.
Well-
The only actual new thing we got to see, other than how Johnny plays, is that Sub-Zero costume. I wanted to see
Right.
like Smoke's new costume and Fujin.
oh, by all means. I feel like I'm still riding that Jason high. If I wasn't, I feel like I'd probably be a lot more disappointed because I completely agree with you that yeah, there wasn't much there. We pretty much just got to see what we already had laid out for us.
Yeah.
In the breakdown of the story from GDC, even the intro dialogues we've already read. I mean, that's not their fault. I mean, somebody already put that out there. But regardless,
Well, if they were going to demo all this stuff to people, I feel like doing it like the day or two before the stream, that they should show that same stuff in the stream.
yeah, I don't know what the hell to say about that, honestly. It was cool, but I think it was more talking than show, and it's always better to have more show than tell, and yeah, I mean, not to disrespect the developers or anything, but I really don't care to, like, all the behind-the-scenes stuff is better saved for an extra, or just a video they put out on their own time, for whatever, or like, a collector's edition behind the scenes extra. Like, I would love to watch all the story behind the scenes, how they made it and all that stuff, but like, I didn't need a 45 minute
when it was
stream
like a
of it.
documentary featurette on Deadly Alliance's
Right, and that was awesome.
the crypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good, but like right now I just want to, show me some game stuff.
Exactly. There's so much left to show in so little time. Like, I really started to feel
and
like
we're
what's-
2 weeks, is it 2 or 3 since this Kung Jin, Takeda, and Jackie trailer came out?
I want to say 2 weeks since that.
Yeah, and they're still not on the select screen of the build they're showing.
It was definitely an odd choice. I mean, how many people were on that roster? It looked like, well, I just know from talking on the forums and just what I gathered is I think there was like 10 or 11 still not on the select screen that we know are in the game. And
Yeah, we've had everybody confirmed except for Aaron Black and one box, which will probably be Liu Kang.
Right.
But we've seen Aaron and we haven't seen Liu yet, so that's like the only reveal left.
Yeah. And yet, technically, I mean, there's still so much gameplay we haven't seen. There's still several stages we haven't really seen. There's obviously 95 or 98% of the story we haven't seen. The combat towers we haven't even really seen in detail. I mean, we haven't seen them like played through, at least, as an example. We just saw that quick next trailer where they just kind of briefly talked about them. We don't know a whole lot about how factions are going to work specifically. We have, you choose a faction, you add points to it no matter what you're doing in the game, etc., and you build up to something. But we don't even know how like those faction matches work, where like the 5-on-5, each person's playing a different match, and how that all works out. Overall, and we don't know anything about like how good online's going to be. I mean, I don't
think that's something they can demonstrate until the game is actually out and you've got people,
True.
playing from New York to California and stuff like that.
True. I mean, yeah, that's like the least of what I expect them to show. Overall, I'm just basically giving examples of there's so much left to show and there's only a month left. And I'm not saying we need to see every part of it. I like surprises, don't get me wrong. I've been a big big advocate of liking some secrets and surprises, but I feel like the stuff they're holding back was already leaked, and like stuff like stages and
Well, not even leaked. Like, they themselves have confirmed. Like, this morning, IGN confirmed Shinnok and Kenshi.
that, and yeah, we already know Takeda, Kung Jin, and Jackie are in the game. So that's 5 characters that are confirmed, and Aaron Black, I guess, but he hasn't really been confirmed. But there's 5 characters, 6 if you count Goro, 7 if you count Sonya Blade, 8 with Jax. Like I said, there's so many fucking characters we just haven't seen the gameplay for, and why? Wouldn't you think that would help sell the game?
I don't know. I just think maybe they're... Whatever build they keep showing on the stream, like, it's specifically programmed to have some stuff in it and some stuff
Right.
not, obviously, and, like...
I'm almost...
Like, if you're playing, like, the challenge towers, and, you know, Liu Kang is somewhere on the tower, they can't show that before they reveal Liu Kang, so that's why, and, like, maybe that's something they can't control, like, the characters on the towers are randomized.
Yeah. Here's my issue with what they're doing. I mean, I don't mean to go back on what I'm saying. Like, I've always, like I said, I'm fine with the way they've been marketing this, but now that we're a month out, it's really odd the way they're doing this, because I'm thinking of other games, like, say Halo for an example. Halo, they show like all the maps before release that I can recall. They usually show all the maps off. They show the gameplay. I mean, the gameplay is what sells people. They sell it on the multiplayer. They keep story pretty much secret, other than a trailer for story, just so you have the plot synopsis and everything. But other than that, you get examples of the gameplay, like all the weapons and the match styles and all the new things they're offering, and it's like, why? I don't know. It's like, other than keeping...
I feel like the weird thing about these When NetherRealm streams, it feels like they pre-recorded it 2 weeks before it airs. Like, it doesn't feel like a live stream. It's not up to date with what's been revealed to us at all.
Yeah, or they just really love to keep their cards really close to their chest.
Yeah, and like they always talk like they don't know when the next stream is gonna be.
Which
and it always falls like a week or two later on a Thursday or Friday.
Right.
Like what exactly is preventing them from locking that down when they
I have
air
no idea.
when the next one's gonna be?
Like, do you get the feeling like they just like to be cute sometimes? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
I think it's a combination of Ed's love of secrets and that they're trying to be cute, yeah, and that stuff isn't done and they don't want to show it before it's ready.
But how could it not be done?
Like, how can it not be done when we're this close to release?
Yeah, it's literally going to go gold it has to go gold within the next 1 or 2 weeks, like, at the very latest. There's no way.
I get the impression that they're sloppy developers, because they always have been since the Midway days, and it's a lot of the same people.
It's just really odd. Like I said, I'm completely sold on this game, and I think what they've
like,
shown
I imagine that NRS has the most desperate crunch times in the industry.
Yeah, perhaps. It's just so... Like we just said, like, how they don't even announce their next stream day. Like, how hard is it to set aside a schedule ahead of time? Like, there's always something to show. Like, even if you don't have... There's no reason why they couldn't have, like, a stream every week or every 2 weeks and just plan for something. There's always something to show. You can't tell me, out of the 11 characters they haven't shown off gameplay-wise, that they're not done gameplay-wise. Like, what the hell? It's just so odd to me. It's really... It definitely feels like they're showing really old demos, but if that's the case, then why? Why this close are you showing old demos? There's no reason why... I don't know. And they also make it seem like I said, when I say they're being cute, other than the fact that they never have like a confirmed date when their next stream will be, even though they seemingly do it every 2-3 weeks tops. Like, I don't know. It's really odd that they do that. But on top of that, it feels like they're being cute by... The jig is up. We know the characters in the game for the most part. Yes, there's still people
we know everybody but one square.
Right. There's still people holding out hope that the leaked roster isn't real, and we're not going to get into that whole thing. But the
Well,
point is,
there might be like a hidden character or two, but maybe Liu Kang is the guy who you unlock at the end of story mode.
right. And my point is, if we're led to believe that those rostered spots are final, then why are you still hiding the majority of the characters? We have like what 14 on the character roster or whatever select screen. Hell, we haven't even seen Goro. Like, this is just really odd.
Yeah, we haven't. Goro was revealed 6 months ago. It feels like
it was in October, I think, and November, December, January, February, March. So yeah, 5 months. Because I know he was revealed somewhere around Quan Chi.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about him in our first podcast, so he had to have been in October. So yeah, this is. And how long have we been holding back talking about Goro because we're like, wait, let's just wait till he's revealed. So we don't want to do a retrospective.
I get the impression we're not going to see him until the game.
Yeah, or at least till like the last week before the game, which is just odd. They've been, first of all, there's no reason not to show what your pre-order bonus is. I
expect these guys to still be airing streams after release day. Let me show you this thing that right now you could play yourself.
It seems like it. It really does. It's almost like that 2 months they took off from advertising their game and showing things. It just feels like we're 2 months behind. That's like the best way to describe this, is it feels like we're 2 months behind of what we should be shown right now.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like, the studio got stuck in a time warp or something, and they don't realize that it's March right now.
Right, because it doesn't feel like it, that's for sure. I mean, I'm all for keeping like 3 or 4 characters under wraps until the game, but when you have 11 characters that you haven't even shown gameplay on, and you usually take one stream to reveal or to show off 1 or 2 characters at a time, we only have 4 weeks left.
Do a stream that's 2 or 3 hours long, just one time. Get a bunch of stuff out of the way.
Right. We have 4 weeks left. So there's literally only time for 2 streams at max. And that's if they do a stream the Thursday before the week the game comes out. So, what the hell? And they don't even know when their next stream date is. They should be doing a stream every single week from now until release. There's no... This is weird. It's just so odd. It's just, like I said, secrets, I am all for. Keep some characters under wraps. Great. But you showed them off in your story trailer, and there's still people holding out hope for Fujin, Raiko, and all these characters that don't believe that the leaked roster is real and this and all that, and that's starting to annoy me, not because they still believe, but they should... When they said they're going to deconfirm characters, I thought they were serious for a moment, and I'm like... It's about time you start, letting people's hopes down, because people are still fucking holding out hopes, and you're...
Yeah.
It's like a month away now.
See, and this has sort of been my problem with MKX all along, is I get the impression that NetherRealm doesn't realize the 3 characters are as beloved as they are.
It's just...
Because all they hear are casuals who didn't play those games going, Lee May sucks, and Draman sucks, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I don't...
people want those, and they're going to be really let down when they not get them, and that's going to affect, the perception of the game in future years. How are people going to look back on MKX? They're going to be like, it's one of the ones that let me down.
Yeah, I agree with you in the sense that, with the whole MK, it's not even just the 3D era characters. They're doing the same thing with some of the characters that are still technically alive leaving MK9. What about Sector and Cyrax, for fuck's sakes? There's been nothing shown of them, not in the trailers, no hints, nothing. We're all assuming they're not going to be in.
You can blow it off by going, oh, people are still going to play it and love the gameplay and, all that stuff, but... People still look back on Injustice and go, there were too many Batman characters. That's still a thing.
Yeah.
This many years after the game came out. That's part of the game's legacy.
Yeah. It's just odd that they've strung people along for so long, and still sticking with the theme of why haven't they deconfirmed some characters or said potentially they'll be DLC but they're not playable in our game.
Here's what bothers me about that. I read the other day, and I don't know if this is true or not, but someone on the message boards was saying that they said on Twitter, the DLC won't be characters who appear in story mode.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, that can't possibly be true, because that's the
No.
dumbest possible way to do it.
I never saw any source for that. I saw the same shit that you saw, and I never saw a source for that. If anybody listening to this, because I'm going to upload probably just our rant, because this is the only real worthy part to hear, but or just our review of the stream, I guess. But I've never saw a source for that. I was gonna look into that, but I forgot. But I never, and I follow all of them through the Netherkast channel. I follow all the developers that post on like Twitter, and I've never seen that. So I'm not sure where they're getting that, because that can't be true. I
hope
completely
not,
agree
because
with
it
you.
feels like the very first candidates for DLC should be the ones who are NPCs in story mode that are the most popular. Like,
And they
if
have
people really like Fujin and want to play him after seeing him, then he should be one of the DLC.
And they have the models there, like in Fujin's
Yeah, exactly.
case, he
They're
has
the
a new
easiest
model.
ones to put in.
Right. He has the model. It's just developing the gameplay and balancing them out. But I completely agree with you. There's some weird shit going on. It really, like I said, this is where like I use the term being cute, because it's almost like they're I don't want to say they're unaware that it's like a month away, and they should be addressing more issues like this and concerns from their fans. They know everybody's. I mean, Ed Boon's at the damn center of all these tweets that are like, "Hey, I want this character. I want this character. What about Rain? What about Fujin, Raiko? Blah blah blah." And why? And Temp seems to think it's like a WB thing, that they're holding them back from it. Like, I don't see why WB would give two shits about what characters they say are in or not. Like, I feel like it's just they like to
marketing
be
especially
cute.
would be something that's outsourced to the publisher. Like, I don't know why NRS would handle their own publicity when they're supposed to be working on the actual game itself.
Right.
And I mean, I say that knowing that the developers are the ones who we just watched on stream, so...
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's up to them. I mean, like I said, going back to like MK9, NRS in all the interviews I saw, Ed Boon especially, he was always like, they're very hands off. They give us the time we need. They give us the budget we need, and they just kind of let us do our thing. And occasionally we'll suggest things. I don't. Like, it's hard for me, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's hard for me to be like, or to imagine a WB executive being like, you can't tell them that Lee Mei or Fujin is not playable in this game. Like, I feel like that's an Ed Boon call. He loves playing with people, and he loves leading people on in his secrets, and I like him too. To a point.
I like secrets when they're, when there's a character in the game that's supposed to be a surprise me with them. But if somebody's not in the game, that's not a fucking surprise.
Exactly. This is what they should do, is they should tell us everybody that's not in the game. I mean, over time, don't just blow your load 8 months out, but after you've revealed enough of your roster, especially if it leaks at some point, you should say, okay, these people aren't in the game, but they could be potentially DLC, and then if you want to shock people, you just have one or two of them actually in the game as secrets. So, surprise, surprise, these people I said aren't in the game are actually in the game. Because even the people that are
that's actually a really good way to do it, to just straight up lie and say something's not in the game, and then surprise it is. That's a pleasant surprise. That makes you feel good.
Right, because even if somebody was like, well, if Fujin's not in the game, I'm not buying, they're gonna know as soon as the game hits or it leaks that Fujin actually is in the game. He's just an unlockable. He was lying, because they'll pick it up right away. So there's no harm in getting everybody's hopes down and being like, hey guys, sorry, they're not in the game, and then maybe you manage to find time to put one or two of them in as a surprise. That's a far better way to do it than to be like, I don't know. No, maybe not. Maybe, could be. Or
I don't know. I don't know. For me, it's just like, I'm tired of being mad at how NetherRealm publicizes their upcoming games, because this is the third one in a row. And Injustice was better than MK9 was, but this is exactly the same thing that happened as MK9 was coming out. And the reason we're so disappointed is because Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon, they were so free with the information. Like, they were handing out renders like candy and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a fine line for me. With Deception and Armageddon, I felt like I saw too much. With this, And I mean, it's not even what we see. It's just the way they do it and the way they like to play coy about what's in the game. And like I said, it's all about people's expectations and hopes and shit like that. Like it's a month out, and you're still we've been doing this for a year now, where people are still hoping for their favorite characters to be in the game, and a lot of people were hoping for 3D era characters, and you're delivering one. It looks like in the initial roster.
I worry about it from like a casual standpoint. Like half the roster's moves have not been seen yet, so you don't know what you're buying.
Yeah,
because I mean, an MK fan is going to get it because they're an MK fan, but somebody who doesn't necessarily buy every game needs to be sold on it.
right, and that was my Halo point. Was with Halo they show you all the damn gameplay because there's what's to hide with the gameplay. The gameplay is what gets people to like hyped up and to buy it because the gameplay shows the quality of the game. So if you're just like, here's 10 characters, this should be enough. Well, what if, I mean, it's just no reason for them not to show all the characters that aren't going to be a secret when the game comes out.
Again, I worry it's because they're not ready. Like, we all speculate that the reason Smoke wasn't revealed until like a week before MK9 came out was because they knew his hair looked bad and were trying to fix it the whole time. Maybe that's something's going on with characters like Jackie's gameplay, like this isn't ready or that isn't ready, so it'll glitch out if they try to play it on air, or it'll just look bad, who knows.
And if that's the case...
But other studios are a lot braver about that. Like when Iron Galaxy does a Killer Instinct stream for a new character, they'll just admit on the air, we're not going to show you so-and-so's Ultra because it's not done yet, but we are going to show you everything else.
Right. There's nothing wrong with transparency, and I think that's ultimately what we're getting down to here is that NRS, like the whole comment about being coy or being cute is it's like they're very controlled about what they want to be transparent about, and everything else they like to pretend doesn't even exist. Like, they like to, that character's not announced yet, and then, Tyler Lansdowne will do a little smile towards the camera like that's an unannounced character, and it's like, okay, dude, but we get it. We know the characters, first of all, and you guys playing coy like that's not legit, unless you're legitimately going to have more than the leaked roster, and this has all just been one elaborate fucking, like, gotcha type of thing, and how awesome are we that we're delivering more than a lot of people expected us to deliver. If you're not doing that, and it's legitimately what we've known for about a month and a half, 2 months now since the roster was leaked, you playing coy and thinking you're cute by looking into the camera and smiling as you're like an unannounced character that we haven't shown off yet, that's not cute. That's just annoying. That's what it is. It's just annoying. Like, there's no reason why you can't show us Melina. You can't pretend like why you pretend like she's not a playable character? Like, we know she is, so just fucking stop. Like, I don't know. It's starting to get to me that, like, I'm always fucking, like,
Yeah, you've always been Mr. Positive.
I'm always, well, yeah, when I get annoyed, that's when you know you have a problem, because I feel like I'm one of the more patient ones on the damn forums when it comes to this, and
I think
defending.
it's funny, because for me it's always like I have the reputation of being the angry one who hates everything, but when you guys are annoyed at something, my reaction is always like, yeah, I already knew. Like, yeah. I'm used to it by now. I'm jaded. I don't get angry. I just go, typical.
Right. And that's not discrediting, like, when you get upset about something, it's still just as valid. It's just, you done...
I get upset about things that I've already been upset about for like 5 years, so I'm just sort of repeating myself when I'm ranting.
Exactly, and that was just my point. It's like, dude, when somebody's defending you, and then they're finally just like, you know what? These guys are right. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I was defending you a month ago when you were still pulling this shit, but we're literally a month away from the game, and you guys are still doing this little cutesy, that character may or may not be in the game. Who knows? Maybe Melina's in here. Aaron Black, perhaps. Shinnok, maybe. It's like, no, just stop it.
Who's not mocap.
Yeah, like, that's just
a reveal.
Yeah, that's just flaunting the... it's just... There comes a time where somebody just needs to fucking be transparent, get down to business, and stop fucking jerking people around. Like, it's not one big circle jerk here. People want to know what characters are in this damn game, and if they're not in the game, they need to start accepting that, otherwise it's just gonna blow up in your damn face. Because you need to give...
I wonder if there's some sort of mechanic where a bunch of characters are in the game, but they're like, you can fight them, but not play as them, like all the Deadly Alliance characters who were NPCs in Deception Conquest, like Shang Tsung and Jax.
From what
maybe there's something like that, like there's a bunch of characters, but they only have like one variation, so they didn't feel like putting them on a select screen.
Right. From what I've heard, I mean, take it for what it's worth, and I'm not going to say who, but I was told that you do fight unplayable characters in the story mode. Some will be fightable that you cannot play as. What that means, I have no clue. I don't know if it's a one variation deal. I don't know if it's their...
I wonder if it'll just be like the Revenants, like returning characters from MK9 who have kept most of their gameplay, or if, say, we'll get to fight Fujin, you know?
Right. I don't know. It's just frustrating at this point.
I just want 3D characters back. I don't need to play as them. I just want them to be important to something. That's the part where I get upset with the roster.
You want to feel like they matter, you know?
Yeah,
because they never show they matter.
On the stream, they talked about, you know, like, oh, there's a bunch of people who have been playing for 20 years, and, like, they were there when Johnny Cage became a character, and now there'll be a new generation who can go, I was there when Cassie became a character, and she's still a character, and that's part of my history with the game. What about the people who joined in Deadly Alliance? The people who were like, Lee May was a character for me, Nitara was a character for me, Hotaru was a character for me. Those guys get shit on.
Yeah, I just fucking...
They don't get to keep their generation of memories. They get to keep their memories, but they don't get those characters back.
This is some fucking Men in Black shit. They're just like, we're gonna fucking take your memories away.
Yeah, NRS is gonna come to your house if you're a Havoc fan and blink the thing in your face and like, Havoc never existed. Let it go.
See, I just don't get it. Like, well, the thing is, I don't get it, and that's the problem. Is everybody has their hands up in the air. People are arguing and getting pissed off at each other on the forums because we've got nothing to go off of other than just leaks and random shit. And it's like, there's no reason for that at this point. Like,
at the same time, I mean, if I were in the developer's shoes and I saw a lot of people were angry on MKO, I'd just go, MKO's always like that. Those guys don't matter. Let's see what people on other message boards are saying.
What about Twitter, though? That's like the biggest voice you can get now.
Yeah, I don't know. There's also a lot of positivity out there, though.
Right.
A lot of people who are just like, I'm looking forward to this game. And that's all they say about it, because they're not, like, nitpicky like we are.
They're not analyzing it, that's for sure. And a lot of people got their favorite character, and they're fine with that. And
Yeah, I mean, most people...
Well, I mean,
you know, they're like, oh, I got Johnny Cage, I got Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Melina, that's all I wanted. Those of us who wanted 3D characters, like, you know, Serena's only been in one actual fighting game. I will never be happy.
Yeah.
And that's just how I'm doomed to feel, and I can't, you know, like, maybe I'm not the guy to cater to, because, you know, one guy wants Serena, well, 10 million people want Scorpion, so let's do Scorpion first.
Yeah. And
I'm okay with that. I mean, I've come to terms with being the vocal minority and everything. I also, like, I feel like if you're only going to upload the rant part, we should repeat the parts we liked in the stream, just so we're not completely negative, because I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, the stream itself, I really did like the story part that we saw. I thought it was awesome.
I liked what we saw. I'm looking forward to... I mean, a lot of people give QuickTime events shit, but I kind of like the way NRS does them.
Yeah, I think...
Like, the only time I had a problem with the QuickTime events in Injustice was when Black Adam was throwing cars at Superman with people in them, and Superman was blowing them up. That's just weird.
I like him.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to seeing all the ways that Johnny can get his ass kicked if you fail fighting Scorpion in the helicopter.
Right. They're doing him right because if you miss something, then you don't just have to restart the cutscene like in like Resident Evil 5. It's
Like the that's I hate that when it's like an instant kill and it was only on screen for a second. Like Resident Evil and it's with mash all the buttons and wiggle the sticks.
yeah. They're doing it right because there's no way to fail. It just looks like you just get a different like version of that cutscene with just differences.
You'll probably you might start the fight with less health because they did that a lot in Injustice, but that's okay. I mean, it's not like story mode is hard.
Yeah. But yeah, we like that. I mean, it looked
I like
awesome.
Kenshi's voice. I like the Sub-Zero costume they showed.
Right. Yeah, it just looked badass. Honestly, like the costume, the Kenshi was great tackling him out of just everything Kenshi did.
Johnny Cage, like all three of his variations look cool to me. I do like stunt double the best.
Yeah, Johnny plays like a dream right now, and I also mentioned during the stream that the fluidity and the animations and everything just looks so damn good. MK9 still had a little bit of stiff feeling to it, but this just feels completely fluid. It's crazy how good it looks. And I mean the game itself is amazing.
Moves flow very well. There's maybe a little bit of rubbery Stretch Armstronginess to the animations, but they're not stiff. That's for sure.
Right. So yeah, I mean the game itself looks amazing. I don't think our complaints was anything relating to the game itself. It's just basically how they're going about.
We're just disappointed about how little they showed. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, with the stream, disappointed by there was a lot of talking, which a lot of that could have been just saved for an extra. But other than that, I mean, it's just a lot of our ranting was going more towards why aren't they just revealing this character by now? Like it's getting down to the final hour. Why aren't they showing this character's gameplay that we already have confirmed for the game? And
I think the character it hurts the most is Jackie Briggs, because everybody is already sort of like, why are her and Jax both in the game? They're probably just the same. All we've seen of Jackie is an X-ray, and we have the knowledge from the comic that she's a boxer-type character. But, we don't actually know anything about her, and whether or not she does play that much different from Jax.
And thank God for the comic, because that's been a huge part of this leading into the game. What's kept us really happy, especially when it comes to 3D characters. We've at least gotten a lot of
imagine
Raiko
how we'd
especially.
feel if we didn't have the comic. How much madder we'd be about the lack of 3D characters if we didn't have Reiko having this big part and
because all we would see,
sort of stuff.
Yeah, all we would know so far is Shinnok is in the game and Fujin is in a cutscene. Without the comic, we wouldn't have had any of this. Raiko's getting some screen time in the comic, and they're doing a lot more to develop him. And at least Su Hao was at least acknowledged, and he played some sort of role for a second. And Frost got
him
her
and Mabato
moment.
were just there to die, but at least they were there.
Yeah, and Frost had her moment. So I mean, that alone is definitely great. But yeah, without the comic, geez. There would have been a lot less to, chew on this entire time, so... And that's something, completely different. I know it's a tie-in comic leading into the game, but, I mean, that's not even relating to the game itself, so it's really... I don't know, it's just really odd. I'm not gonna beat a damn dead horse with this, but I'm just still... It sucks to be... I mean, I'm not gonna say I was proven wrong, and I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, but... Temp has definitely made some points. You've made some points, and they're getting. I was of the mindset that we would have seen more by now, and now that we're down to this point, now I'm legitimately in full agreement. What the fuck are these guys waiting for? And it's not even that. What are these guys waiting for? I'd have sympathy and understand if I felt like it literally was just a case of. We're scrambling to the final minute till everything's showable. It's no, you're being cute about it. I don't know. It just seems really kind of assy. That's all. I have no better term than just They're just being cute when they
Well,
shouldn't be.
I guess I'd rather they be, like, jovial and in a good mood on these streams than look like they're unhappy with their work and sort of trying to hide it.
And that just depends on if that's the reason or not. That's one theory, is that they don't have things finished, which is hard for me to believe, like a week from going gold, probably. Another theory is they legitimately just feel like they want to have like half the game a secret, and I think that's too much. I think that's too much to like keep secret, and also to not start deconfirming characters and saying, hey, this, Fujin fans, he's in story mode, and he's a likely DLC contender, but he's not playable in the initial roster. Like, why is that not a thing that's happening by now?
Yeah.
Like, speculation's great. 8 months out, 7 months out, 6 months out, 5, 4, 3, hell. But when you get to 2 months, 1 month out, like, by now you should just start being like, start letting people down so they have time to, like, get over it and find something else to latch onto, because there's still Fujin. I mean, most Fujin fans at this point are like, he's not in. They've accepted that just because they're beaten down to the point of fucking Fujin never gets his damn just due in these games. But there's still some that are like, he has a new outfit, he might be he's in story, leaked roster, I don't believe it, this could be, there could be more, Fujin would be that part, and it's like, that, I don't know, I feel like there comes a point in an end game where you finally need to just be like, guys, he's not in, sorry, he's a good DLC contender. If there's enough fans, start voicing right now, and he could potentially be, I mean, they've probably made up their DLC with at least the combat pack by now, but I expect them to do more, so they should give fans a chance to really vocalize who they want. I mean, hell, with MK vs. DC, they ran a poll online to let people vote. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just getting a little frustrating. With this stream, I think, is what set it off for me, because I'm happy. I mean, I probably sound like I'm really disappointed today. I'm like, no, if anybody's seen me on the forums or in the fucking Skype chat or just in general, I've been happy all damn day because of Jason's announcement, and everyone knows that I've been fucking looking forward to him and was really skeptical about him being yeah. And I'm super pumped. So it's not like it's all doom and gloom for me. I'm super pumped for Jason. Believe me, I'm fucking over the moon. It's just beyond just that, like, I'm starting to get a little upset for other people, because it's like, I'm starting to feel like, yeah, you're really dicking these people around, and me, because I wanted some of these characters. I wanted to see Fujin too, and some of these other characters like Havoc and Raiko, etc. And if they're not in the game, then just fucking admit it at this point, like, as in a playable person. So I don't know. Cyrax, for God's sakes, like Cyrax Sector, like 2 people that were alive coming out of MK9, Baraka. Where are all these people at? Like, I don't know. They're not even in the damn comics, for God's sakes. We don't know what the hell happened to them. We literally have nothing. So
yeah, well, we may be about to see Sector and Cyrax soon in the comics, so that's something.
Yeah, true. But alright, let's wrap this up. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we didn't come off too just pure ranty. Like I said, we're both really happy with the game itself, and we're happy with the stuff we saw in the stream, like that was actually shown, not talked about. And we're both happy about Jason. So, one more thing before we close this out. Just a little. It's a little bit unrelated, but who are you thinking that second character is going to be for a guest character now that we got Jason? Do you think they're going to try and make him connected? Like, say, I mean,
I would really like it to be another horror guy, because like I've said before, the biggest bummer about it being Jason to me is that it's not in the same game Freddy was in.
Right. And
I've been saying that since Freddy was revealed for MK9. If you're gonna have one, you gotta have the other. It just feels wrong without him.
Right.
I know they're not gonna bring Freddy back, because Ed was all like, no, we're not gonna make you pay for the same thing 2 games in a row.
Yeah. And that leads me to
I understand his logic, and there is sort of a pro-consumer attitude toward that, but it's also really disappointing to know that some, like a guy isn't coming back.
Right, and that's what led me to ask the question, is because I see it being 2 things now. I don't see Spawn. I think the 2 people are going to have some sort of thematic tie, and
again, like, I hope they do. I think it's going to be Predator, though.
Yeah, I agree with Predator, but I was gonna ask. I think it's gonna be Predator too. But do you think it's going to be? Do you think Ash has a chance in hell? Let's just throw that out there.
I want him to, but I don't think he ever really did. That was always just like, this is my favorite character, that's who I'd like to see for me. But I don't think he was ever an option.
Because he at least would fit the thematic tie with Jason.
Yeah,
the comic crossover.
I would lose my shit with joy if Ash was revealed. I think it's going to be Predator, though.
Does WB own Predator? I think they do. Or do they not?
Probably. Let me check.
Yeah, let's check that real quick, because, I mean, if WB doesn't own Predator, then I would say they have an equal chance, but I think both of us are going off mainly the fact that whatever the hell site that was like, Predator's in the game with Carl Weathers, like, as probably part of his intro, like we were talking about, but... Fucking Carl Weathers. So yeah, that leads me to believe Predator as well, and I think there will be a thematic tie, because I think they in large part agree with the fact that they wish they probably could have had Freddy and Jason like they originally planned to be together, so now this time they're at least going to have a thematic tie. So although you can't have Freddy vs. Jason, which is the obvious number one dream
it
match.
looks like Fox owns Predator, so...
Who owns Ash? Sam Raimi? Does he own the character?
I think Raimi himself holds the rights to all the Evil Dead stuff. Because I'm pretty sure, looking it up before, every movie had a different distributor.
I mean, it is worth pointing out. I mean, just like take the Predator thing out of the equation, like as in the confirmation or whatever you want to believe of that. Take that out of the equation. There is the crossover with Ash, Freddy, and Jason, which WB, they didn't distribute that comic, but I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas here. And
the comic, I believe, was the comic was from a script. Right. Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash was going to be an actual sequel to Freddy vs. Jason. The script was written and it just didn't go through, and that writer with his script turned it into a comic through Dynamite, the comic publisher.
Right.
Pretty sure it was Dynamite.
Yeah,
which they do a lot of Evil Dead comics. So, I mean, they obviously have license rights for that.
And I mean, one last thing. I mean, I know it's not. Sony did distribute Evil Dead, the remake. So Sony's pretty much in bed with WB. So there's that. I mean, I'm not trying to like stroke any flames or anything or get anybody's hopes up, or obviously you're not the type to do that. So I'm not trying to do that. I think we're both on the same boat on being very cautiously optimistic at best when it comes to this stuff. But it does seem like it'll probably be Predator. But I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at the potential ties that... I mean, and there is the new TV series, but like I said, I digress. I'm with you. I love Ash as a character. And since I got Jason, if you got Ash, that would be fucking awesome, because we could have a lot of fun matches with that.
Yeah, that would be great.
So, but yeah, all right. I'm sure we'll do more like actual talk on the Netherkast and all that shit. But unless you have anything else to mention about the stream or all that shit we just talked about, let's wrap this up, and I will cut this up and throw it up there.
Yeah. Well, since we're gonna not air the part where I was talking about Johnny Cage's voice actor,
right?
I just want to repeat. Apparently, that guy voices Karth in Knights of the Old Republic and Kaden in Mass Effect. I hate both those fucking characters real bad, so it is gonna be hard for me to get used to Johnny Cage's voice in this game. I really wish they hadn't recast.
Yeah, it wasn't odd to me until listening to his ending pose, or whatever you call it, when he says, you're going to want to get that framed or whatever. It just sounded kind of odd. I don't know, for some reason.
I mean, I like Johnny's dialogue so far, and the problem with both Karth and Aiden is they're basically the most boring characters in their games.
Right.
And like his voice acting for them always sounded really bland and monotone. So he's doing way better as Johnny so far. And a lot of that is because of the dialogue he has to work with and the attitude of the character.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world for me. because like I said, I dislike Steve Blum as Sub-Zero more.
Yeah.
Just because Steve Blum always sounds like Steve Blum. And again, I really, it bums me out every time somebody from MK9 was recast. I want that consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in agreement
But
with you there.
it is sort of a thing where it's like, the more I listen to this guy talk as Johnny, the more it sort of sticks in my head, like, this is not the same guy. Like, and that's just distracting.
Yeah, he looks a bit different, even like facial wise, beyond just the
Well,
aging.
he looks, I mean, I think they like tried to make him look more like Kurt Russell or something.
See, I think he looks
Like he's got, there's a little bit of Bruce Campbell in there maybe, like he's got a bigger chin.
For some reason, I attribute his looks to, I want to say Nathan Fillion. Does that make sense?
I can maybe see it a little.
Let me look it up here. Yeah, a little Nathan Fillion, or even the main dude from Uncharted, Drake, right?
Oh yeah.
Like that. Those are the two that I really like think he looks like. So yeah, kind of. He has similarities to both of them.
Yeah, but I mean, his face isn't that far off for me, so it doesn't really bother me his looks at all, except for the costume being a little bland, which we've mentioned before. But I just the voice kind of takes me out of it, and it's tough for me being like, because Johnny's one of my favorite characters. I don't know.
Yeah. But all right, that'll wrap it up. I just want to quickly say shout out to Temp, shout out to Shadaloo, shout out to Jongo.
Yeah. Shout out to Jongo. Shout out to Smoke Man.
Shout out to you, sir. Shout out to Kenshi Master. Shout out to Redman, for all his excitement with me with the Jason and embracing my excitement. Yeah. Shout out to I don't know who else should we shout out, because apparently shout outing is the great thing to do. Because shout out like 20 times in the damn stream. Shout out to Jason. Good to see you, bud. Glad to have you.
Shout out to Sean Kittleson for answering my questions on Twitter.
There you go. Shout out to NetherRealm Studios for making what looks to be a great game. Shout out to the Combat Tether for sharing our story breakdown that we did yesterday of the Cage trailer. Shout out to all our fans, actually, all our listeners, and shout out to Darkhound. I had a great conversation. With
shout
him.
out to those 5 guys who give us thumbs downs.
Yep. Definitely big shout outs to them. Who else? I feel like I'm forgetting someone to shout out. Shout out to okay, this is getting a little
Let it all out.
Yeah. Shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. I was really hoping you'd follow up with, so come on now. I'm talking to you. All right.
I don't want to do the whole song.
I know. We could, though.
Like, people have listened to us for long enough.
Right. All right. But anyways, shout out to everyone. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, actually, if you haven't already, because trying to build that up a bit.
Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to Twitter.
Fucking... Yep. Shout out to all of them, and shout out to Kenshi, the character. And, yeah, hope you guys have a good one. So, adios, sir. Oh, new Versus episode coming up soon. Probably just wait a couple days so it's not overcrowding everything else that we've been cramming into these past couple days. Have been a couple busy days, content-wise. But, yeah. Anyways, see you guys later.
Shout out.